Dragon Ball Super Chapter 55. Now the chapter has not dropped yet, but plenty of leaks have, and I have here right in front of me, which I'm going to read to you, we can read together, the entire plot synopsis in words, and I've also got panels which I will put in between so you can sort of imagine what's happening. But at the end of this video, I'm going to talk about something that no one has noticed yet so far, because everyone seems to be focusing on Merus and not so much on Vegeta. But also when talking about and looking at Merus, he may not be the kind of angel we all thought he would be, given the images we have and something I've noticed. But we'll look at and talk about that later. Let's get right into the synopsis. So, DBS Chapter 55, Merus' True Identity. Whis and the Daishinkan continue their discussion at Zeno's Planus. This is the same discussion they had last time, where Whis came and wanted to talk about the laws of the angels, obviously watching Merus train Goku, and then the Daishinkan revealed that he knew all about Merus, saying, "Oh, you mean the matter of Merus." The Daishinkan reveals that he dispatched Merus into Universe 7 so that he could learn about the world. Now this point is going to be really important, so remember that, learning about the world. However, with his current situation in the Galactic Patrol, he believes that Merus going any further would lead to breaking the law of the angels. We suggest that he will take care of him and explains that Merus has not used his angel's powers up until now and is also just training Goku. So Whis is actually defending Merus here, because Merus has in fact gone one step further than just the Galactic Patrol and is actually training one of the mortals, and it seems to be just one or the other. You can either train them or be part of the Galactic Patrol, which takes care of criminals. So Whis is stepping in, saying that, you know what, he hasn't used his powers yet, he's just training him. And of course Whis is also doing it himself, but the Daishinkan knows that that's just about the Earth's food. The only reason Whis is training Goku is to eat food. Ultimately, the Daishinkan then agrees to let Whis take care of Merus' case to stop his dispatch in Universe 7, aka his destruction in Universe 7. Back on Yadrat, which is a planet outside of the control of the Galactic Patrol, Enrico therefore has no way of contacting the headquarters about the current circumstances. Meanwhile, Vegeta gets surprised by Pibara's special healing ability which he sees and wonders whether he could also learn it. Pibara says that this is quite a higher level ability and Vegeta should rather start with the basics and suggests to learn instant transmission first. However, their training soon gets interrupted as Moro's henchmen land on the planet. Vegeta and Enrico arrive to see a Zarbon looking guy from Moro's team. Vegeta puts himself in position and accidentally destroys the city where luckily nobody lived, and Pibara transports there and explains to Vegeta that he has indeed gotten a lot stronger since the beginning of his training. Yuzun, who is the Zarbon looking guy, got hit as well and transforms out of anger. Vegeta, remembering Zarbon, says that he knows that type and explains that it shouldn't be a big deal. As expected, Vegeta has clearly the upper hand in the fight, but as the guy looks totally finished, Vegeta says that if he returns to the Galactic Prison, he won't kill him. However, the guy says that Moro's next goal is not Yadrat, it's Earth, the place where Vegeta lives. Then Yuzun tries to escape but gets hit by a spinning object he threw into the air before attempting to attack Vegeta. However, Frieza style, ironically, it kills himself. With Vegeta realizing that the Earth is targeted soon, he suggests to Pibara to teach him a technique to defeat Moro. Now this technique could in fact be that healing ability he mentioned earlier, which is very important. He doesn't need instant transmission for now. With the other Yadratians concerned, Pibara agrees, but not sure if the time will be enough. This being because, as he said, that healing technique seems to be a very high level technique. On another planet, Morris talks to Sagumbo about Yuzun's death on planet Yadrat. Sagumbo is surprised hearing that it could happen even with Yuzun transformed and suggests to go to Earth straight away. But Moro is not worried and orders to find more planets before going to Earth at the previously agreed time. So when this is said, almost 2 months have now passed with Moro continuing to eat planet's energy. Meanwhile, within the room of spirit and time, Merus notices that it's almost time. So both him and Goku want to go for one final fight before heading to Earth. However, just as Merus is about to unleash his full power, which, as we mentioned earlier, is against the rules of the angels, both get teleported outside the room. Whis appears and says, "Not any further." Merus refers to him as older brother. Whis explains that training is fine, but if he uses his full power, it's no longer training, it's fighting. Also, Whis confronts Merus with the thought that he also planned to go to Earth together with Goku to fight Moro, which of course is completely against the law and code of the angels. Merus apologizes to Whis about it and to Goku that he didn't tell him that he's an angel. Whis also states that if angels go beyond training, they are prohibiting their law and get destroyed. Whis stopped Merus' dispatch at just the right time and therefore saved him from destruction. Merus apologizes to Goku that he can no longer help him, but believes at his current state he can find a way to defeat Moro. As Merus and Whis both leave to the Angel's world, Goku notices that he has to fly the spaceship on his own and screams after Whis to come back. Certainly an interesting chapter indeed, a lot of revelations here, but now it's just time to talk about some of the finer details as I mentioned earlier. A lot to do with Vegeta instead of Merus, but I will get onto Merus after. So starting off with Vegeta, what we know so far is that Vegeta after this training has already increased in power, but not just increased in power, his power has increased so much in his base formless, remember, to the fact that he can seemingly no longer is able to really control it since he destroyed that city without actually intending to. And this point is actually kind of strange because there is a panel here where we see Vegeta handling a ball of energy which is much larger than anything he's ever handled before, even his big bang attacks, and it seems more similar to a spirit bomb, and given that he is actually training in spirit control, it might be some form of spirit bomb. He has that technique and there's almost no expression on his face when he uses it. So clearly Vegeta's ki and the power that's now been released from his body is now a whole nother level, potentially a whole nother level to what even Goku can do now. Which is actually strange as well, considering that it seems that Vegeta still hasn't even learned instant transmission, which Goku did, meaning that he's at a lower level of learning the Yadratin techniques than even Goku was, as the Yadrats tell him that the healing technique that he wanted to learn is too high level, that he needs to still learn the basics. Now, this technique where they talk about healing and how Vegeta seemingly really did want to actually learn it and how it is such a high level technique is what we call a smoking gun. It's mentioned for a reason, and when you combine it with the fact that, you know, the henchmen arrive, they tell Vegeta that Moro is heading for Earth, and Vegeta tells the Yadrats then that he needs to learn a technique now that can beat Moro, and they need to do it fast. The Yadrats agree, and that technique more or less has to be that healing technique. Now, why would that technique be so powerful? I mean, a character that could, as powerful as Vegeta, that could heal himself at all times, potentially heal a character like Goku, who, while he's getting his energy depleted, could get his energy regenerated by Vegeta at the same time, meaning that Goku would then have enough time to defeat Moro in hand-to-hand combat, which we know from Moro's battle with Majin Buu is not his forte, and that he can easily be beaten in hand-to-hand combat. That serves as a complete and plausible way for how Goku and Vegeta can combine their new techniques to beat Moro. So just keeping it out there as my theory, Goku, as with his training with Merus, he has unlocked some way now to get into Ultra Instinct. I don't know if it's going to be more Omen Ultra Instinct or the mastered version, but he will fight Moro one-on-one, and Moro will do his same thing where he slowly absorbs the energy. And as Goku's energy gets drowned down lower and lower, this is the opportunity where Vegeta, now having learned this technique, will heal back Goku to full energy as he is moving and as he is fighting. Obviously, that's one step further than what Dende could do or anything else, because obviously Vegeta has spirit control. He can possibly and quite plausibly use his power and his spirit control to heal Goku while he's on the move, meaning that Goku is actually in some ways not even feeling the effects of Moro and fights Moro one-to-one, a team effort which leads to the defeat of Moro. That is pretty much what I think is going to happen. I mean, it is a smoking gun for them to mention that ability, the special ability of Pibara, and for Vegeta to want to learn it. It's definitely my theory, and I think that that is what's going to happen, but you let me know what you think as well. I think it's very plausible. Now on to Merus. There is a panel where just before Merus transforms into what they say is his full power, you see the ring, the outline of it, start to emerge. Obviously this is the ring that is common to all of the angels, and it seems that Merus somehow is able to hide that ring, and when you hide that ring is a sign of your power being completely diminished back down to a certain level, a level more similar to mortals, and when you do power up, it appears once more. Now, another thing that people are not talking about when it comes to Merus is that obviously he refers to Whis as his big brother. Now, that's not too strange because obviously Whis may be one of the oldest angels. We don't know too much about that. But when we see this panel where Merus is touching Whis from behind, you can see the huge difference in height between the two. Now, typically the male angels are not that short. I mean, the shortest, I don't even know if you can even call him an angel, that we've seen is the Grand Priest, the father of all the angels. Merus is very, very small, and couple that with the fact that the Grand Priest then actually said that he sent Merus to Universe 7 to learn about the world, it suggests that this angel is a new angel, a young, inexperienced angel, which is also shown by his actions and thoughts to help Goku in the battle against Moro, even knowing that he could be destroyed, that needed guidance and needed to learn. This could be a newly created angel. For whatever reason, there may be a new universe being introduced and they need Merus to look over it or do something else, we don't know, but it gives us a hint about the origin of angels. They may not be upgraded from gods of destruction. Gods of destructions may not become angels. Angels may be something which are produced and chosen in their own light by the Grand Priest. They're trained up by the Grand Priest and personally sent to universes undercover to train and to learn about the world, as the Daishinkan said. So in all the other universes, there may be other versions of Merus. There may be other angels in training. Now, it also suggests that angels seem to have a time limit. They too cannot be angels forever, and they too will die at one point and be retired. Now, with Merus being near the stage where he needs to retire, is Whis also at that stage where he needs to retire? Is Merus the replacement for Whis? And so when eventually either Goku, Vegeta, Majin Buu, anyone becomes the next god of destruction of Universe 7, will Merus actually be the next angel for them that works alongside them? And in this case, if that is the goal, then Goku is probably going to become the god of destruction because he has such a close relation with Merus, and that would make sense. But this is all in my head. These are thoughts I'm having, but these are how all the points are connecting together. You let me know what your theories are and your thoughts. I think a lot of this does make sense, but yeah, let me know, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.